person. I was asked by a couple of people what my hobbies are. What are your It says, what are some hobbies you'd like to do? Well, let's get started and talk about a few things. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, so let's step right to it, right? Alright. As you already know, or should know by now, I'm a furry. I use a persona or a character of a red panda. There's two distinct characters. Technically, it's the same character, but in two different points in time. You have Paradox. He travels the multiverse, and he's basically an eternal being. He lives impossibly old from the beginning to the end of the universe, past all the evaporations of black holes, and travels to another universe, and continues to live on and go through it over and over and over again. And there's Noodly. He's a younger version, pre-dimensional hopping, pre-immortality, that likes to eat food and be goofy and is fun-loving. And he has all sorts of different things that he enjoys doing, mostly hanging out, enjoying company, and basically feeding people. He loves good food, and he loves to feed other people when they're hungry and just give them food. It's a weird thing, and it's roleplay centric. I don't do adult role plays anymore, except with my hubby. But with everybody else, they get a safe for work PG-13 experience with me, where I'll do all sorts of weird stuff, like I'll lay flat on the ground and act like I'm roadkill or something like that. And I do all sorts of interesting stuff, and I play around with other people that are playing around as well. So it's just all goofy, fun, and silly. There's nothing really serious about it. Paradox is more of a serious roleplay. I use that on Second Life inside of science fiction worlds. And in these worlds, he's a dimensional creature that comes about and interacts with other beings of other universes. Paradox also has the ability to travel through space. He's not just stuck on one location waiting for civilization to develop interplanetary travel. He can hop between galaxies and planets and things of that nature. So really, anywhere in the universe he can appear pretty much instantaneously. I have somewhere a whole description, like a Google Doc somewhere, that details all the reasons why he does this, and I go into it with quantum physics. And the reason he's able to do that is because at the beginning of the universe, he quantum entangles a series of particles throughout the universe, and he's able to split between all those particles as a basic explanation in a nutshell. There's no weird powers like time travel or hammer space, like the TARDIS, for example, from Doctor Who, or anything like that. There's no weird quirks. He's not able to shoot lasers out of his hands or his eyes. He doesn't have anything abnormal like that. But that's my furry stuff. My hubby is furry as well. He goes by a raccoon, as I've mentioned before. His original persona name is Rocky Coon or Rocky Raccoon. And his current name online, his current persona is Lemonade. But I don't know if Lemonade is attached to his persona or not. I've never asked. But it is what it is. His character doesn't have any special powers or anything. It's just a goober that is basically him but has fur. Whereas me, I delve into the more science fiction approach of things and actually roleplay science fiction. Which on Second Life is hard to find because everybody wants sex and you have to go through specific worlds that are not X-related or X-rated. You have to find rated R and below in order to have a truly authentic sci-fi experience. And then you have to wait for people to show up. There's a Discord group as well. It's a furry Discord group. I do some sci-fi role-playing there from time to time when I'm bored and have the extra time. But I'm not very active in it. Let's see, the next thing on my list is retro computing. I don't have them with me because there's a bunch of stuff that's quite bulky. But I have access to a Commodore 64, a ColecoVision, and Atari 2600 and 5200. And those are retro gaming. I do retro gaming with my hubby as well. And I had an old 386. I clicked old software. I used to use BBSs back in the day, pre-internet. I know, weird. But I went to the library and got a list of numbers that I could dial into. And I dial into them and I would play things like door games. Legend of the Red Dragon was by far my favorite. But there were other miscellaneous games that I tinkered with, like Aerion Fields and stuff. BBSs were quite interesting. They had file downloads, and each one was different. It's not like going to X or Twitter and then going to Facebook and having different services. It's more like... Actually, it is like that. It's like going to from X to Facebook to MySpace to etc. and just go to different websites. Each one has different functionality, different file formats, different rules, and different things that you can post, and different things that you can look at. And different people are using it, and different people are posting. They almost all have a message board or a way to message, like primitive email. But it only is in server itself. I never experienced server to server. I didn't think that was a thing. I don't believe that's a thing. I never tried, and I don't think it was. I think it was solely messaging solely on that server. But I was in my younger years, and I don't remember a whole lot. Yes, it's been a very long time ago. But anyway, I would message users, and they would send files, and I would send files, and sometimes there would be piracy and stuff like that, and you'd get all sorts of stuff. It's great. I love it. I have a copy of Windows 3.1 on floppy disk, and all kinds of interesting stuff. I have Windows 3.1, 3.11. I even have a copy of the first Windows 1. OS2 Warp was pretty fantastic. I liked that operating system. It was actually kind of nifty. It was very user-friendly back in the day. Now that was computing. Then there was the days of Windows 98 Second Edition going to Windows XP, when I tried my first Linux distribution. My first Linux distro was Mandrake Linux 8. And I've also tried FreeBSD and BEOS. That's B-E-O-S. I used to pronounce it BOS, but it's BEOS now that I'm aware of it in my older years. And honestly, BEOS was kind of interesting, but it wasn't something I wanted to continually use. So I switched back to Mandrake Linux, which had an old KDE format, or desktop environment. And it was actually pretty nice to have that system. And I used that for a long time and upgraded when I needed to upgrade. Overall, that was my first Linux. Now, on the old family computer, the Commodore 64, we didn't use DOS. We didn't use Windows 1. We used the version of Unix. I'm not exactly sure what it was. Again, it's been a very long time ago, and it was my dad's. But, yeah, that's... My first OS wasn't DOS, it was Unix. I know DOS, I've used DOS. I've had a mixture of both DOS and Unix, but Unix was my first and primary disk operating system. My second OS was Windows 3.1. My third OS was Windows 98, the first one. That crashed a lot. And then I used second edition of 98. That was good. It didn't crash all the time. That was a lovely change. And from there, I switched to having my own computer, living at my dad's. I had a copy of Windows XP, which at the time was Windows Longhorn. And I still have that copy of Longhorn somewhere. And it's interesting because I had Windows XP about 6 months before Windows XP officially came out. But after that I switched to Mandrake Linux. And then later I switched to Damn Small Linux. And after Damn Small Linux, I went to Windows 10. And after Windows 10, like about a year before the Windows 10 support stopped, I switched back to Linux and I went to Ubuntu Mate. I like the Mate desktop and I'm familiar with GNOME 2. And Mate is a fork of GNOME 2 and kept the style before GNOME went to GNOME 3 and changed the UI. In regards to retro gaming, there's a lot of retro game stuff that we have available. Personally, I don't see too well, so I wait and let my hubby take care of all the management of that. Otherwise, I tend to deal with emulation. But we have the physical copies of these games and the physical machine itself. We have an Atari 2600, 5200, NES, SNES, Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis, Sega CD, 32X, and Sega Master System. And we have, what else do we have? GameCube. And there's a lot of stuff. I'm drawing a blank. But it's all on this website at Retro Arcade. No, sorry. It's Retro Arcade, or I'll get the link and put it in the description. Retro Arcade Romp, I think it is, but it'll be in the description for you to click if you want to check it out. There's my hubby's blog on there. It's his hobby website, personal website. And it'll be in the description. It'll have all the games and game systems and emulation devices and handhelds that we have available. And you'll be able to look through that and see what we have available for us, including the retro computers like the Commodore 64 and ColecoVision and stuff. Next on my list is computer programming. There's a lot of computer programming. I gotta go into LinkedIn to find all that, but I don't want to lag my computer. So I'm doing this off the cuff. My first language was BASIC. BASIC. And then I went to QBasic. Basic, and then there's another language I learned called Rapid Q Basic. I learned C, C Sharp, Java, HTML, HTML5, JavaScript. HTML and JavaScript are scripting languages, not programming languages, but I'm including them anyway. I know PHP for web development. I know SQL, which is SQL, SQL. And I know COBOL, Forth, Forth. And I know assembly. I have contributed code ages ago to a diskette operating system called Minute OS, and I haven't personally used it much, but I have it somewhere, and it's all written in assembly, and it's just an operating system that is interpreted. It has a executable basically that runs an interpreter, and this interpreter takes the rest of the code, files code, right? It's not compiled code, it's just straight code, and it takes this code and runs through the assembler, and it launches it for you in the operating system, and it comes up for you, and you're allowed to use the software and all that like that. That's why it's able to fit on such a small disk, like it's on a floppy disk. But there's all kinds of projects that I contribute to. If you run Linux, Android, iOS, OS 10, or you operate a Windows system that's beyond Windows 10, like you use Windows 11, or you operate a device that has certain components, or even the Linux kernel itself, you are running my code. So, enjoy. And the next topic is fish keeping. I do have a goldfish. His name's Fishel, Fishll. He was an itty bitty thing when we got him. He was a feeder goldfish at PetSmart. So we got him in a tank, and we fed him over time, took care of his water, his tank itself, the rocks, the filter, and the filter pumps, and he just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until we got him a 3-gallon tank. No, he was in the 3-gallon tank. Then we got him a 6-gallon tank, and then we got him a 20-gallon tank, and now he's chilling happily in this 20-gallon. He's a big boy. He likes to eat big boy food like bug bites. He loves his bug bites. He's a mealtime fishy. That boy loves to eat. There is a video of Fishel eating on my Facebook and Instagram if you want to check that out. He'll be eating his breakfast for you, and you'll be able to watch him chow down in his feeding frenzy. And you'll get to see him. He's white with an orange spot. Most people think he's a koi. This weekend is Fishel's spa day. It's every other Saturday. I make his water in a 5-gallon bucket the Thursday before his spa day. And this spa day consists of cleaning his filter and or his filter pump, scrubbing the walls of his tank with a sponge scrubber. Then I vacuum his rocks with a rock vacuum, change his water out, and I get under his plants and stuff too, but I change his water out, about half of it, and then I replace it with the fresh treated water. Then I add some salt, which is aquarium salt. It's just a very small amount, so he has electrolytes. And then I add water clarifier in there, and after a few minutes, his water is crystal clear and perfect. He ends up mad at me for a couple of hours, but he loves me and he forgives me. And he'll be like, "Okay, Daddy, I love you. Feed me." He's adorable. The next thing is transhumanism and biohacking. Now, something I don't disclose very often is I have 3 magnets in my fingers They're neodymium. I have a magnet in each index finger and in my right middle finger. This allows me to feel electromagnetic fields. It's kind of interesting because I can feel on the wall, which is right here, where my electric wires are. I can feel the current. I can also feel like stoves. I can feel when those are turned on. It's a nice vibration. And the higher the stove is turned on, the higher the vibration. My laptop causes a vibration as well, especially when the fans kick on. In hospitals, I can kind of tell where an MRI machine is because I can feel that field. And the closer I get to it, the stronger it is. This does mean I can't go through an MRI though, so there is that. And I have to disclose that anytime there's a procedure going on. But I've mentioned this in my coffee stream from this morning. I believe in transhumanism because I want a post-human society. I want life extension technology and making disabilities a thing of the past. I want to have cybernetic organs, like a mechanical cybernetic heart, lungs, kidneys, etc., and liver as well. Just be able to replace all these parts and have it function with cybernetics. I want the eyes and the ears to be augmented so that you can see better and hear better than normal. The deaf can hear and the blind can see better than normal-sighted people. Like with the eyes, you'll have cybernetic eyes and you'll be able to see more of the light spectrum than a regular eyeball can. You'll be seeing like a mantis shrimp if you wanted to. You'll be able to zoom in and out. And with an augmented mind, you'll be able to record your experiences. You record video and audio and stuff like that. It's like having a cell phone in your brain. I also go for hive minds. And as far as like digital immortality, mind transferring to android bodies and things of that nature as well, enhancing the human experience and becoming a post-human. I believe in life being precious, and I would rather continue to live rather than to die, because I don't believe in there being an afterlife after having lived through an actual literal hell from schizophrenia, cholera to delusion. So I'd rather not just cease to exist. I'd rather continue to live, and I'd rather continue to live with my hubby for as long as possible. Even if that's hundreds of years, I will go through hell for him again though, because I love him, and I don't care about changing that. I have more transhuman topics I want to discuss. That'll be for a future video. The next topic I want to talk about is whittling. Give me a second, I need to cough. Whittling. I make wooden sculptures. My hubby painted them. It's been a while since I've dusted this thing and moved it. But, like little raccoons. Yep. Just make wooden structures and wooden toys and things like that. I don't do it very often because it's really hard on my hands, but I make them from time to time, and it's not like something you can just sit down and do overnight or within a couple of hours. It takes some dedication to the project to make something, because you gotta to visualize it, draw on the piece of wood, work it down, and sculpt it and detail it. It takes considerable time to whittle away the wood and just create a sculpture. The next topic is cooking. I love to cook, especially from scratch. Unfortunately, I live in an apartment, and it's kind of small. It's much smaller than the house I lived in before. So I'm unfortunately not able to really cook from scratch. Not a lot anyway. And that kind of sucks, because I'd like to have the space to be able to make bread and cookies and pizza dough and ice cream and muffins and cupcakes and all sorts of treats and tasty stuff at home, but I need more space in my kitchen before I can make these things. Like, yeah, I got flour, yeast, baking soda, baking powder, sugar. I got all the ingredients I need, and cocoa powder and stuff. I got all that, and vanilla extract, etc. But I got all the ingredients to make things that are super delicious. But due to the space requirements for certain things, I'm kind of limited on what I can make. The last thing that I made from scratch was several months ago in the kitchen, and that was homemade pancakes. Because my hubby wanted pancakes, I didn't have any pancake mix. I didn't have the money to go out and buy pancakes. So I just made a whole bunch of pancakes from scratch and just went with it. My hubby really enjoyed himself. Okay. Next subject is hiking. I love to hike mountain trails, wooded areas and things like that. That's actually quite soothing to be out in nature and hear the birds chirp. Having hearing aids actually helps out because, like, for 30 plus years I wasn't able to hear birds. And for a while I was like, where did all the birds go? But now that I got hearing aids again, I can hear the birds and they're here. I'm like, wow. That's amazing. I love it. But I'm loving living out where I am in this place that I live, because I live very, very rural. I live in the middle of the woods, and the woods here are surrounded with wildlife. I'll see cows from time to time that escape from their pasture from down the way. I'll see rabbits and snakes and squirrels, and I've seen deer. I've seen all kinds of wildlife, and it's amazing. And the fact that there's so much to see, especially around in Alabama, in Gunnersville, Arab, and its surrounding areas. There's just so much to see. There's a waterfall, there's beautiful lakes, there's a hiking trail near the Lake Gunnersville area by a park, and there's so much walking trail, and there's docks and piers you can go down and just really enjoy the view. And there's just so much to see and so much to experience. One of these days, when my hubby is more independent, I'd like to go down one of these trails with him, at very least in a wheelchair. And I would like to get frozen peas and go out and feed the ducks at like Gunnersville and just throw them peas and stuff like that. No bread. Bread's bad for ducks. But you give them frozen peas and things and like that, and they'll just sit there and they'll just gobble it up, and it's going to be so fun. I know the paths around them there are paved, but if he's in a wheelchair, he needs that. He can't just get up and walk into the woods with me. He takes time, baby steps. Maybe in the future, but for the immediate future, he's bedbound. Within the next 3 to 5 months, he'll be in a wheelchair. And maybe after another year, or a year and a half, he'll probably be able to walk, and we're going for that. See, my next thing is I like to go camping. I love camping. I love the experience. Survival camping is actually really fun. My favorite thing to do is to make a mat out of foliage, grass and stuff like that. Make myself a bed, make my own shelter, and all that stuff. I can't do that anymore because of my own physical health and being in pain. So if I was to go camping again, I'd go with a tent and a sleeping bag and sleeping mat. But I still enjoy the experience all the same, even with the equipment. I would still have a campfire, and I'd bring marshmallows and hot dogs and stuff, and we'd roast weenies over a fire and just enjoy the experience and time together. It's fun. Get fresh air, get some wild in you, get some trees going around you, just get nature. It's great. You gotta have some nature in you. My next hobby is fishing. I will do catch and release, just out catch and release. But if I'm going fishing, I want to get some food. So I'm going to be catching catfish and bass and things so that I can take them home, clean them, gut them, and put them in a bag, freezers, and put them in the freezer for eating. But I enjoy the process of fishing. I enjoy catching fish, and to see the fish that I catch is just all the different kinds of fish available. They bite your hook and reel them up, and I'm just holding fish. I'm like, man, you're pretty. Here you go. Plop. It's great. Now you already know this next one, vlogging and microblogging. I already vlog, you know this. You've seen my YouTube channel. Hell, you're watching it now. Hello. I like microblogging and blogging as well. That's why I have an X account. You'll see me on X a lot, and I'll be typing a lot. And I'll respond to politicians like, stop treating me like I'm retarded. Because they act like I don't know what they're doing. Like, come on, like I have eyes and ears. I can see what you're doing. Get the shit. But I also expand upon thoughts and stuff like that on X, where I'm talking about life being precious. No one should die. Everyone should be at peace with one another. People who are violent should be put in locked away and treated and rehabbed until they're safe for society and stuff like that. It's things like that. I also like writing and poetry. I am a published author. I'm not going to name the books. There's several. And I don't write poetry anymore. Yet I don't publish my poetry. Because with the emergence of LLMs, large language models, they can write poetry for you. And that's kind of diminished poetry for me. So I just don't write poetry very much anymore. If there's something special, like for my hubby or something, I'll write him a poem. But for like everyday general people, I don't write poetry for them anymore. I used to, but I just can't do it. I do have a ebook that I am working on editing at the moment. There's a lot of details that I want to change up, and there's a few things I want to look into, and there's pictures I want to add in and replace and stuff, and just, refine it a little bit more. It's a very disgusting book. It's a Necronomicon, a book of the dead. It has burial rites, incantations, spells, and rituals for the dead, and it's disgusting, to say the least. Regardless of your beliefs, it's disgusting. My first review that I got on it was, quote, "This is fucking sickening," unquote. And last but not least, I love to sing. I sing a cappella basically, and I have a voice, I can use it. I don't sing very often because I don't really have, I did have a TikTok once upon a time, and it still exists. I didn't delete it. But there's a TikTok account that has me singing on it. And I've sung various song covers and even made my own. But I don't sing very much anymore. One, I just don't care to disturb people because I'd be disturbing my hubby and or my roommate. And two, I don't think I'm very good at it. I enjoy it, but it is what it is. Anyway, that's it for my list. Those are all the hobbies of things that I enjoy doing. Despite the negative symptoms of schizophrenia, I do have things I enjoy, even though it's hard to enjoy them. That was a fun question to answer, and it took a while for me to be able to respond to it, because I had to think about it and brainstorm things about what I enjoy doing and actually think about what I wanted to talk about. I started creating this video, and I was doing it off the cuff like I am now, but without bullet points. And by the time I started resolving the video, I'm like, but wait, I like this too. And I kept doing that over and over. I was like, you know what, I'm going to delete this video. I'm just going to write everything down in bullet points, and I'm going to go from there. And I'm going to continue to brainstorm this and think about it for a little bit, and then I'll make the video. So there you have it. But I am doing more coffee streams in the future. Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings. So feel free to look me up on Friday, Wednesday, Monday for coffee streams. And we'll drink coffee together, whisper and vape together. I'm doing Q&As. If you want to know more about me, or have questions about my opinions on things, or my opinions on life, or want advice about something that I have experience with, feel free to leave me a question in the comments below. You can also ask me on Discord or on X. My Discord server is on my channel page. You're welcome to go on Noodly Panda down below. Go to my channel page, and it's right there in my channel links. Hit up my Discord, follow me on X or Twitter in my channel description or on my channel page itself. And you'll be able to ask me questions on Twitter or on X or on Discord or anywhere else you can find me, even on Instagram. I'm there as well. So let me know what you want, and I will more than happily answer it in a video of your own. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch me. I appreciate it very much. And I hope this video helped you learn more about me. And I hope you are enjoying yourself and are able to relax and take care. I love you all.